To see more women out there doing it and to see other parents doing it, I think is just, right, really continues the message, and to show other people, like, as you become a parent, right, you guys know this so well, but to not lose a part of your own identity and who you are, and continuing to prioritize yourself, your fitness, and like things that make you happy, just make you show up more as a parent and in other ways. So we're kind of like using a bit of that to kind of pep talk ourselves. So like, yeah, we have nothing to lose, right? It's just like only to gain of like fun experiences and such.
Absolutely.
Welcome to the Löw Tide Böyz, a swim run podcast. I'm Chip.
And I'm Chris, and this is episode 319 of the show. Partners Month 2026 continues. 2026?
Yeah, keeps on trucking.
2026 continues with Team Wild VerMamas, where we're talking about Amanda and Fiona from Vermont. They're mamas, and they're part of Wild Swim Run, so it all kind of makes sense.
And lovers of Vermont maple syrup, which we'll get into later, of course. No interview with some Vermont folks talking about maple syrup.
Have to. But
it was great to finally catch up with the Team Wild VerMamas, as well. We physically tried to catch up to them at ÖTILLÖ, Colorado, but to no avail, as they quickly dusted us on the big climb. But they have certainly burst onto the swim run scene, racing in the female category, taking the top steps of the podiums throughout. So it's really awesome to bring their amazing partnership story to the show to continue Partners Month.
And it kind of continues the theme from last week. Women's team.
Yep.
They're both mamas, and they have 5 kids between them as well. So it's just kind of like, people having kids and doing swim run. We can do it, people.
Love to see it. And if you're wondering, the Wild VerMamas, are they? Yes, they are a part of the Wild Swim Run community, which is something that Chris and I have always loved, supporting the Wild Swim Run community since we first found out about it, 2020 time frame. But it's really cool to see teams adding that to their team name as they go and race, and also a part of the ÖTILLÖ Elite program this year. So really excited to see some strong USA female representation in the ÖTILLÖ Elite category.
Yeah, we need to have more women do swim run. They're great ambassadors for the sport, and they were super fun to talk to.
Yeah, they were great to talk to. A couple of endurance baddies, I think. Adventure racing, triathlon, trail running, ultra marathon. And it seemed that all those things really kind of clicked once swim run entered their awareness.
Yep.
They locked right on to swim run, and they haven't been looking back since.
I love that part about swim run, just like how people find it. It was like, I discovered this thing, and I invited my friend, and now it's like we're doing the world championship, the following year and a half later or something. I mean, it's just so cool.
Yeah, we've talked to enough people during Partners Month that we're like, they start telling us a couple things. We're like, okay, here's like 1 or 2 signals. Okay, yeah, they're going to get up. We see how they got hooked. But yeah, Amanda and Fiona also neighbors-ish at some point. So a lot of thematics for our first 2 episodes here in Partners Month. But
it's good.
The good vibes on Partners Month continues. We continue to get great feedback on our YouTube channel. People leaving comments saying how much they've been loving the interviews, and that Partners Month is one of their favorite months of the year for show content. Love to hear that.
Yeah.
So I guess we could do a little training update.
Sure, we could do
we had a big Alta 50K, which will be my second time racing it. Chris, your third time racing it since its inception.
Got a streak going. See for how long.
Yeah, I mean,
committed to trying to keep it, as long as I'm not being ridiculous about it.
I mean, it's an amazing trail run, and it literally is like a 10-minute drive from our house, so we kind of feel somewhat obligated to do this.
And it's super hard. It's
a very sporty thing, which is great training for our first race of the season, which is at the end of May, ÖTILLÖ Orcas Island, which we're really excited to go back to that one. It's been 5 years since we've raced that race.
Yeah.
And if you don't know anything about Orcas Island, it's hilly AF. So we said, hey, how about a nice hilly AF 50K for ourselves in March to kind of get prepared for that.
Plus, I think we did it last year, and we just felt like an early season kind of big old thing.
This has always
been good hardening.
This has always been kind of, as long as we've been training partners together, like some early season, January, February, kind of like big day that was well outside the fitness that we had at that time, whether that an 80-mile bike ride or a 100-mile bike ride or a 4-hour day.
It was almost like it was a cry for help just to make sure we didn't go like nuts over the holidays. It's like, oh, we have Bandera in January. I guess we can't just go hog wild.
Yeah, so we went out there to do the 30K course, so roughly around 18 miles, still a stout 4,000 feet of elevation gain over the 18 miles. And Hunter from Team H2O came down and joined us. He's doing the 100K race. So he wanted to get experience on these trails. We said, come on, you got to do it early. A little bit of headlamp action. So we shoved off at 6 in the morning. Great time on feet. Great time to practice the fueling as well.
It's beautiful out.
It was amazing out.
Like above the fog.
Stopped to take pictures.
Sunrise.
A couple coyotes out there.
It was great.
We saw more coyotes than people out on the trails, which is always kind of a cool thing. Just chit-chatting, having a good day out there, huffing and puffing around. And I tested out the PFH Flow Gel 300. I put that in one of the soft flasks, and I was sipping on that all day.
I wanted to ask you, because when you told me you did that, I told you from my testing,
yes,
I would always put a little bit of water just to kind of make it a little bit more flowy. Did you think it was too, was it hard to get it out of the thing?
No, I thought it was pretty good, actually, because I had maybe an inch that I'm like, this might be a good thing to do what you suggested, put a little water in, but I just kind of went for it. But my flow gel was also a little fresher than the previous one I had done, so maybe it was more flowy than the previous time I tried it. So I didn't have any issue with the drinkability of it with the soft flask. It's kind of nice just to have one thing,
one giant gel.
You just kind of take a sip on it whenever you need some carbs.
Well, a big Alta 50K last year, that's what I did. I had a running vest, and in one I had a bottle. And the other was the flow bottle.
Yeah, the flow bottle.
And just all race, kind of taking some down.
Taking that on. Nice. But we had a great day out there, 3.5-ish hours out on the trails. It was a good time. And, take a little bit easy into this week. But that was the highlight of the training week.
Well, you have High Rocks coming up in a few weeks at this point. I'm curious, how do you feel that all the strength you've been doing...
Yes.
Like wall balls and shit.
So if you've not been paying attention to my Strava, which I don't blame you, I've been, my wife and I are signed up for High Rocks Vegas. We're racing in the open mixed doubles category. My wife and I are a team, and we can trade off on these stations, but we all have to run the 8 1K laps together. But I really like having it on the calendar because it's holding me accountable. I got to do these lunges with like a 25-kilogram bag and these wall balls, and it's been keeping me consistent, and I've been feeling the legs a little bit more power. And I will say, in the pool, I think the paddles are coming along a little bit easier because I've been doing the burpees and the push-ups and some kettlebell stuff. You don't need to hear it from us, but the strength training is just it adds it's going to plus up whatever you're trying to do. If that's just swim, run, running, whatever you want, it's definitely paying dividends. So excited to get that race going with my wife here in just a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And then into Big Alta. So yeah, we've been doing like little simulations and stuff at the gym. So it's been good. You'll hear all about it a little bit later.
Yeah.
Rest assured. Now a little show business.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we've been, I was testing out the PFH Flow Gel, 300 grams of carbs in one bottle, down that thing and more. I think I was at 410 grams of carbs.
Amazing.
I'm a carbaholic these days.
Seriously.
On my runs, but all thanks to our friends over at Precision Fuel and Hydration, who we're partnered with for many years now. But we say this every time. I don't think anything has increased our performance beyond getting and figuring out our nutrition and fueling strategy for swim runs. Certainly, it's helped me at marathons, whatever, Chris's marathons, anything you're doing.
I feel like I'm better at life.
Yeah, actually,
daily, it's like I'm just so much more mindful about my hydration and not being dumb about workouts and fueling before, during, or after workouts.
Absolutely.
Like it's just been an extreme net positive all around.
It's been huge. So, we always recommend, even if you don't use PFH gels, they have amazing free content on their website for you to kind of go on and see, hey, how many carbs an hour should I be doing? How do I train my gut and this sort of thing? So, we'll try to help you out with our YouTube videos along the way. Check out precisionfuelandhydration.com for more info to increase your get your carb game fixed.
Seriously.
And on the right track. But we got a code we can share that can save you 10%.
We do. Löw Tide 2026. Save 15%. 15% off of your first order. So you know what that means. But yeah, it's great. I think, to your point, Chipper, I think one of the things I love best about PFH is like all the advice on their site, and there's a lot, is brand agnostic. So they don't care what gel you use. They're like 30 grams of carbs is, let's all speak the same language, not the brand language, which I think is super helpful. And
I agree.
As a little bit of a foreshadowing, we're going to be doing some special content with PFH later this year. So look out for that. We're like super stoked. That'll be YouTube content, but stay tuned for that.
Yeah. The common denominator is grams of carbs. Instead of having to worry, this is a 90 calorie gel. This gel has 120. How many calories do I need? It's just carbs. It just makes it easy. Every gel has how much is on there. That's the common denominator. So
they typically have 30.
They usually are around, 30 or so. Some have more, some have less. So you can mix and match to your heart's content. But figure out your number and then start working your way up. And then you can thank us later.
It'll change your life.
Definitely. Well, without any further ado, and you know what actually has carbs as well? I hit the e-brake on that one before we kicked it over. Maple syrup.
Maple syrup. Oh, yeah, for
maple
sure.
Maple syrup definitely has carbs in it.
Oh, yeah, it's a whole thing. Untapped Vermont maple syrup in a sort of like liquid gel format. It's delicious. It's great.
So even maple syrup from Canada, Vermont, wherever you're drinking
nature's
your syrup,
gel.
It's literally nature's gel. So anything can work for carbs. Nerds candy gummy clusters, that's quite tasty.
Big thing for ultras.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pringles.
Yeah, I mean, carbs they're everywhere around us. You just have to be willing.
They're all around us.
Is it cake? Is it carbs? We don't know. But we do know we had a great time chatting with Fiona and Amanda, the Team Wild VerMamas out of Vermont, Vermont maple syrup lovers, swim run lovers, mothers, swim runners, badasses. The list goes on and on.
Yes.
But this intro is stopping here.
This intro is not going on and on.
This intro is not going on.
Kind of felt like it was. Okay, well, very excited to continue Partners Month this week with Team VerMamas. Amanda and Fiona, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having us. We're really excited to be here.
Yeah, we're stoked to have you. We noticed you're wearing some really nice drip from Wild Swim Run, our favorite swim run nonprofit. I mean, we've been repping for them since day one, it feels like. Such a great organization. So before we get into your swim run story, how'd you guys get connected with Wild Swim Run?
Yeah, actually, we heard about Wild Swim Run through you guys for the first time. I remember it was like an early interview, and I remember subscribing to their email list early on and just thinking, I think even before we had done our first swim run, thinking such a great organization to promote women in sports. And we both have young kids, so any opportunity we can to get our kids out trail running, and we take them swimming every week. So just really love that and what they're trying to promote.
Yeah, I mean, awesome. It kind of like sells itself. It's such a great organization with really great people trying to just get people into sport that we love, and also for what it does, not just for doing swim run in particular, but in general, what it does for people's confidence and just knowing that they can do hard things. Now, you guys are in Vermont. Speaking of doing hard things, you guys are getting blasted with winter weather. You also have young kids. So why don't you tell us a little bit about how you guys met, how you found swim run, and how you're balancing being able to do it all?
Yeah. Well, we met when each of our youngest were, I don't know, maybe 6 months old, and we were at a yoga class, and you do a little intro, and I think Fiona said, and I like to trail run. And I was like, we're going to be friends.
Wait, who said that? Okay,
Yeah.
I'll find you
I
after class.
actually remember hunting Amanda down afterwards because I think I only had one of my kiddos with me, and Amanda had all three kids at an outdoors, like at one of those postpartum yoga classes. It was just like calm,
Wow.
cool, collected, and had showed up with three kids to do like outdoor yoga at this like surf place. And I was like, in the parking lot, I'm like, I'm going to go find her. I was like, we're on a mission. I need your number. Yeah.
Nice. And so you all are from kind of this, or you live in the same general area there and kind of started going out on those trail runs together and hit it off. When did swim run kind of come in the mix after the yoga connection?
Yeah. We now live in different towns. We used to live like
Okay.
running distance from each other's houses, which was great.
Nice.
But when we were both in the yoga class and kind of that postpartum time, at that time, neither of us was actually able to run again yet. We both have different athletic backgrounds, but I had before kids done a lot of trail racing and ultra marathons, and during and after pregnancy had pubic symphysis, and where having significant pain, and especially with trails having the uneven ground. So it was kind of in that period of not being able to trail run. So that's actually why we both started swimming again. We had swam like as kids, but had really not been swimming. And so some of our first workouts together were at the meeting up at the pool. It's such a great thing when you are either injured or need to take time off from running, with the ultimate goal of being able to get back to trail running. So we had started doing some evening swims like after the kids went to bed, and then would meet up a lot of times with the kids to go hiking. So I do feel like most of our workouts early on was like us plus all 5 kids. Yeah. And that's
Who knows?
often
That's-
still, I'd say every week, even if we don't do our workouts together, we meet up at the pool with our kids at least once a week, maybe twice a week. So
This week we brought the weights to the pool and
Yeah.
we're doing some, strength with the kids in the pool.
exactly. Yeah.
So it's definitely been a theme this month because the people we interviewed for last week's show, they also have 5 kids between the two of them.
Oh,
So
yeah,
5 is a
that's
magic
awesome.
number. So Chipper, you guys got to get one more kid because I'm not.
Yeah.
That's on, that's
You
on
could- you could draw
We have a
straws.
dog.
Okay,
That counts.
that's awesome. I mean, so you guys were supporting each other, which is great. Which, frankly, it's a good foundation for a good swimrun partnership is sort of supporting each
Yeah.
other's goals, being there for each other. Where did the idea for swimrun kind of germinate?
Yeah, it's a good question. We were trying to think of when's the first time we heard of it. I know initially, I feel like I had heard of Swim Run, but after my youngest was born, or actually in between kids, I was interested in getting back to trail running. I remember talking with a friend who's actually been mentioned, I think, on the show before, Rob Howard. And it was the year he was bringing some friends and people from the gym to Orcas. And I was like, oh, you'll
Yeah.
have so much fun. I had been out to Orcas Island and like spent on the San Juan Islands before. And I was like, hey, I just did these trail races. And afterwards, I remember actually looking up some swim runs, and at the time it was Brecca Swim Run, and thinking like, okay, I definitely want to do one of these races. My family's from England, so I love going to the Lake District, and decided on doing Swim Run Coniston was the first one that I
Wow.
did
Nice.
in 2023, or I think it was, or maybe 2024. But I remember even talking to Amanda about it and saying like, hey, do you think you could swing it? Because we turned it into a whole family trip to England. So we got to see like my mom and my aunt and get to visit with everyone. And then afterwards, Amanda was like, let me know how it goes. Because if you do another one, I'm in. And I was like, yeah, we've got her.
I had never heard of swim run until Fiona had brought it up. And
Yeah.
I think the first time she roped me into going to one of her training runs, I was like, yeah, I'm just going to stop and like take my shoes off and then I'll start
my
swimming
God,
and
yeah.
I'll put them back on when we get out. I had no idea what I was in for, but I have learned.
So you took,
Yeah.
you went on a trail run, you kind of like tricked her. You're like, hey, instead of running around
Yeah.
this water, let's just blast
So-
all the way through and swim across.
Yeah.
Say.
Well, it's funny you say that. Amanda has an adventure racing background. So she's up for the adventure. There's a large, very cold lake, not too far from where we live, Lake Willoughby. We did a few repeats where we ended up swimming a mile or two and then repeats at Mount Pisgah. So we probably ended up running, I don't know, who knows, a pretty significant first one, but she did take her shoes off each time.
I
was like,
I had I didn't even have a wetsuit. I was shivering coming out. Like, maybe that would be a good idea next time.
yeah.
I love it. I love it. So you do this workout. What are your thoughts? You're like, okay, I can get into this, or were you a little hesitant? Tell us how that idea kind of then turned into you guys signing up for a race together.
Yeah, I mean, I was all in. I was a short sprinter back in college, but then kind of came into the distance world and did some triathlons and Spartan races and fell into adventure racing with my husband. That was a natural transition with kids. You know, that piece is just so time consuming when you're doing these longer races. But I was like, hey, I get to cut out the biking. It's not through the night. Like, great.
Easy.
Oh yeah,
sleep deprivation.
It's only a 5-hour event. That sounds chill.
Yeah.
Chill.
Totally. I know Amanda was describing like a multi-day adventure race in Canada in the wilderness. I was like, oh yeah, she's game. We'll be fine.
Like, I can convince her to do a 5-hour thing in Colorado. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, easy sell.
Well, I mean, it's nice to kind of have the chops there, right? Because in that respect, it's like you know, the adventure itself isn't the thing that's daunting. It's almost just like, oh, how do I prepare to do this particular thing? But not like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if I can actually do it. It's more around like, well, let's just figure out technically how this is going to go kind of thing, eh?
Yeah, exactly. I think we both bring like a good, like wanting to have a fun time first, but we have the endurance. And I think we both have grit, which I think any parent who's also, right, you're working, you're trying to fit in training, right, you can just, endure. And so I feel like we both bring that to the table and have like a similar mindset about it. Like this is supposed to be, this is fun.
Yeah.
And it's also such a great like breakaway from, our day jobs and parenting. All of our kids are 6 and under. So it's a treat to be out there. We're like, yeah, we can, maybe not finish too quick.
Let's slow down a little bit.
It's like,
Let's get out here.
It's like this whole pass extends until what's the cutoff?
Yeah. We're like, whatever the longest version of the race is.
Yeah.
And that's even what we've decided. I think the first race we did together, right, was Whistler. We did a family trip out of it.
Nice.
And I think we decided we had like 2 swims left, and we're like, oh no, it's almost over. We're like, we weren't ready for it to be over. And so, we're excited we're like, we definitely want to do some longer swim runs just because we both have that background and that interest.
Yeah, Whistler's such a great, and Vermont, you probably a lot of similarities there up in the mountains. So Whistler, and you all top step of the podium, I believe, for the female category. Do I have that right?
Yes.
Yeah, I see some head nodding. Okay. Humble. I love it. Yeah.
Well, and also,
love a good, strong team.
I feel like a part of it too, when we had no idea like how many people were going to be there or what to expect as like our first one. And when we showed up at the morning, I don't know if it was like Lars or his dad who was announcing, was saying like, hey, and we're like, nobody else has the same pennies as us. Like, are there other women? We're trying to see like who else like is racing, as females. And it turns out we were the only female team in the long course. But we thought, we're like, you know what? Well, 1, we're just here to have fun. And 2, we're like, we need to make a good showing for the women. We don't mind who we're racing. Like with the gender is like a non-different. We're part of the fun, right, is going out and a bit of the competition. So we decided we need to make a good showing for the women, and we were grateful the other 2 races we did, at least there were some other women's teams that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I remember that race, and I was like hearing Mark Finanger rattle off, and there was like 2 men's teams in the long course.
Yeah.
And I remember there was some team next to us. I was like, hey, don't screw it up, guys.
Yeah.
It's like, it's all you got to do is finish and everything's going to be good. Yeah. And that race, super challenging. Obviously the type of race that certainly lets you know kind of where you stand. So whether you're the only women's team, you guys still really showed up and kind of gave it the gas. And where we met you was actually during ÖTILLÖ, Colorado. We were kind of like jockeying back and forth on the swims and like chatting it up. And then it was like that first really big long climb. It was like, all right, see you guys later. See you at the
We got
finish.
dusted.
All right, you guys are awesome.
They were trying to be nice about it to us. They're like, oh yeah, let's run together a little bit. We're like,
Yeah.
and then we're like, well, see ya.
But if there had been, you told a couple teams, like we were even chatting with like Mara on one of the runs, and we're like, well, we didn't know, right, if there was going to be another swim after one of the trail runs. We're like 50-50 if there's going to be another swim. We're like, if there's another swim, we know we're about to get past. But if there's not, we think we've got it. We're definitely not as strong swimmers as we are runners.
Nice. Yeah, Colorado, great. That was the toughest race on the US circuit for sure, without question there. And those first couple swim runs as a team, any funny partner moments or interesting stories that came out where your partnership got tested a little bit or someone had to rise to an occasion?
Well, in Whistler, we ran into a bear on the course, so
That'll do it.
some
That'll
quick
test
teeth.
it.
Yeah.
We got through that one. And
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I mean, we ended up seeing quite a few bears. I think it was maybe you beforehand. Because we were there a few days
Right.
beforehand, and each of us in our crew, like of our families, had seen a bear, like leading up to it. And I think the morning of or the night before, you're like, I'm the only one who hasn't seen a bear yet this week. I was like, don't say that. We're about to go
You had to say
go
it.
running. So we did at one
Was
point.
it sauntering
The bear
across
was
the trail?
It was actually stopped on the trail. And so we, stop and take a few steps back, and then we do like pick up rocks just in case. And then
Yeah.
there was another, I think a solo guy who had come up, and we're like, oh, there's a bear. So we're, hanging out, and then we start like creeping forwards for a ways. We're like, well, maybe it's gone. And literally the bear had gone up on its hind legs and is like behind a rock, and then like actually peeking out almost like a cartoon. And we're like, okay, we're gonna hang out a little longer. So then I think there was another either individual, I think it was another like solo guy who had come along, and we were all making noise and trying to do all the things, and eventually it went off, and we booked it.
Yeah. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
you lead the runs. You can be on the bear duty up front.
Exactly.
I'll
We're like,
hang
we're
in
not
the
gonna let
back.
these
Yeah.
guys drop us. We protected them. So yeah. We just need to be faster than them. We run away.
Nice.
Excuse me. So you guys have done a couple races together. You were qualified for the Swimrun World Championship. My understanding is that you guys gonna go do it?
We're
Planning
signed
it?
up.
You guys are
We-
signed up.
When we were at first, we were going to sign up for Casco last year, and we're like, oh, we should do one together beforehand, which is how we picked Whistler. And then when we saw Colorado, we were like, we can't not go to Colorado. And then we're like, you know what? We think we actually might have enough points, and definitely, as we mentioned, wanting to do like one of the longer course races, the opportunity to be out there longer is definitely appealing. And for the 2026 season, we signed up for that. And we actually are going to also planning to do the ÖTILLÖ Elite program too, and to get to do some more races. So yeah, we've just had a fun time doing it. And we thought, I mean, even a part of being a wild swim run and showing, on one hand, it can be like a little hesitant, like to not necessarily feel or identify like as an elite athlete. However, having said that, to see more women out there doing it and to see other parents doing it, I think is just really continues the message, and to show other people, like, as you become a parent, right, you guys know this so well, but to not lose a part of your own identity and who you are, and continuing to prioritize yourself, your fitness, and like things that make you happy, just make you show up more as a parent and in other ways. So we're kind of like using a bit of that to kind of pep talk ourselves to like, we have nothing to lose, right? It's just like only to gain of like fun experiences and such.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Yeah,
Whenever
I mean, what I love
ready.
about that,
Yeah.
absolutely. What I love about that, it's like, your experiences, you don't need to leave them at home. You can bring them with you. Like everything that you've, all of your memories, everything else, like bring them with you. I think like a team from your neck of the woods, the Boston Red Sox, they have a, 9-year-old, and then have like, I think 2-year-old twins. They're just, the whole, it's family, family business is like coming out to swim runs together, and they bring their
Dominating swim
in-laws
runs.
and the whole thing.
Yeah.
And, they're still kicking everyone's butts, but it's like, hey, they've decided it's like, this having them come with us to the races, that's part of us being swim runners, part of the family and stuff. And certainly we've really enjoyed whenever we've been able to have our families at
Yeah.
events. And so you're thinking like the whole clans are going to come out for Sweden in September?
Yeah, you know, for that race, I think we'll probably travel solo without them, but we are gonna definitely try to have them at some of the other races. I think, as you guys
Nice.
know, with like the back to school timing, it's kind of like right after back to school timing, and I think with the not as easy to spectate like throughout the, you know, certain races are certainly more spectator friendly. So we'll definitely we always try to make an effort of like having the kids there when we can. And same with like our training, they'll hang out and play on the beach when we get together.
Nice.
But definitely as they get older, or if, you know, ÖTILLÖ or other swim run organizations add more kids races, like we definitely our oldest two are pretty stoked
Getting
to
there.
be a swim run pair.
Yeah, when they're
They
older,
come up
they'll
with
appreciate
team names?
when the kids are older, they'll appreciate the ABBA Museum a little bit more as well in Sweden. So
Yeah,
and all the
exactly.
fika, you know, all the treats.
Oh, our kids they fika all day. Like even
Yeah.
before, you know, recording this, it's like, okay, dinner's already made, but we need to have snack part 2 of the day, you know, part 2 of the afternoon to get to the next one. So I think our house, we'd probably compete with you guys for the Fika World Champs. I think we'd be
Nice.
some pretty heavy hitters there.
I'm happy to throw down if you know, we
Well,
got a reservation,
oh,
a
yeah.
standing reservation every year.
Well, you know
Yes.
what's the best part about the FICA World Championship is that everybody wins.
Everyone's
Yeah,
a winner.
Everyone's a winner.
Enough Fika to go around.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Awesome. And so cool that you all will be representing Wild Swim Run there as well. And I know a couple of years ago, you know, they kind of made their splash into the US, and just what I really love about it is like the diversity of skill levels there. There's people that have never done open water swimming that are just attending these camps and getting the familiarity and the comfort and the confidence kind of with that open water. And then now they have you all who are at the world championship level on the podiums and kind of everything in between. It's just such a great organization, again, as we already mentioned, but it's worth bearing mention again.
Oh,
Oh, for sure.
I feel like even meeting Helen has been great. I think there was the friendship swim run where it was remote and you could sign up just for training and to track miles. And I had signed up for that. And I think everyone on the team was in Sweden, but I was logging some miles. And that's how I first got connected with her, through a WhatsApp group.
Nice.
And got to know her a little bit more. And then we did, I don't know if you want to say about talking about the Wild Ascent program last year, because that was helpful in their training
Yeah,
too.
they had put out like a training plan that I followed last year, and it was really helpful to, you know, kind of take the triathlon and adventure racing and like then swim run and kind of mix it all together. And then we've even created our own mini Vermont swim run group. We've been recruiting people to join us, and we brought a bunch to Casco last year. And
Yeah, Swimrun Vermont. I'm like, we don't actually have a website or anything yet, but we should. All right, nobody else buy the website right now.
You better. You have a week between when we record this and when it airs to get swimrunvermont.com.
Exactly, because even, you know, if we're talking through friends who we both swim with and run with and hike, etc., we were talking to enough people about doing Casco Bay. So we actually had 10 people. I was saying 9 people. I don't think I had counted myself, but we had a group of 10 of us all go to Casco Bay last year, because for us it's just a 4-hour drive. And other than Amanda and I, it was everybody's first swim run. And that was
only my second.
And that was your second, yeah. And your second, my third, all of their
She's a
first.
veteran.
And,
It's my second one. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. For years. But I mean, I think that was probably the most like proud or like thing from last year, is that we now have more people who have been able to train together. We have a group of us who are going to be going again to Casco Bay this year, and I think that's so cool. And even with like the Wild Ascent program, my mom is actually going to be a part of this cohort. And this summer we're signed up. You know, Amanda and I are doing all of our other races together, but I am going to do a local, well, it's still like 4 or 5 hours away, but swim run with my mom. So I'm really excited that, you know, people coming into swim run right for the first time at any age is just incredible.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And that's
awesome.
certainly, you're doing the Lord's work, which is telling everyone you know about swim run and
Yeah.
telling them to swim run. I mean, back, you know, Chipper and I at this point, we feel like grizzled old men or whatever. But when we used to train for swim run back in like 2017 and 2018, I mean, you were just out on an island, just
Yeah, yeah,
nobody,
yeah.
no other swim runners, to the point where like some of our friends would see people swim running and they would just assume it was us. It was like, hey, I saw you at Aquatic Park. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like,
we weren't
that wasn't
there.
me.
The more people we can get into this thing, we got to make it sustainable. And so thank you so much for what you're doing to try
Oh,
to get
yeah.
Vermont, 'Cause certainly having Casco there, no excuse to not have Vermont be very well represented at that race.
Absolutely. And we have so many beautiful lakes here in Vermont, and there's trails everywhere. I feel like even, sometimes I feel like another group run, we'll just talk to someone, or if we're out swim running at a local state park, people will be like, what are you doing? Or are you training for a triathlon? And usually we'll yell back, I'll be like, come with us. Or I'll say like, go to their web. I'll literally say, go to your website, like on random runs when we've been on before.
Love it.
So.
Love it.
Yeah, that's
Free hat in
Chipper.
the
That's
mail.
Chipper's move too.
Oh, I know. You
Like
guys need to give us some stickers or
lowtideboys.com.
something to hand out. But literally, we've said that to people as we're going by.
Awesome.
funny.
Yeah. I mean, I think as Chris has said, swim run is just kind of the friendliest sport. And we love the community so much. You have multiple communities going that you're fostering and growing, which is really just adding to the greatness of everything with Wild Swim Run community there. And then your own little Vermont community that you're growing and bringing them back to Casco. So it's just so cool to see that and the friendliness of the sport as well. It lives on.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And maybe, I don't know how long it'll be, but maybe we'll even have a Vermont swim run before too long.
We're trying to, my husband he's hosted adventure races and stuff. So we're trying to get him on either this year or next year to get a
Yeah.
swim run in there.
Scoping out some potential future course. We'll let you guys know when the permitting comes through.
The permitting have you all tuned in with the adventure racing background? Have you tuned into the one water race at all? Has this captivated you? Is it
Yeah, if you want time away
way
from
too
the
far?
kids, like,
Yeah,
that'll
you
do
want
it.
you want a long race? That'll do it. A couple days.
I'll do it.
We've got friends and teammates who have done it, but I need a little more swimming in my life before I can dream of that. I don't know about you.
Or I can do just
I
something.
think Amanda's so good without sleep. I think for me, that would be a struggle. Like, I would say I'm an early riser and game to do workouts at an early time, but Amanda can one up me on less sleep. If I want to start at 5 a.m., Amanda would start at 4 a.m. The sleep would be tough. But definitely having that, I mean, it would be a
You
great.
just need one more kid. It's just a little more lack of sleep training.
No,
Three
it's true.
kids will get-
When we started working out together, it's like, did you sleep at all last night? It's like, no. Cool. Cool. We're going to be friends.
Yeah. No, it's great. Let me ask you some questions about your partnership. So this is Partners Month. We always try to give people, on one hand, sell people on the team aspect of swim run and encourage people to race as a team. Can you share with us kind of like what's your warm and fuzzy feelings towards each other and how much you appreciate racing together? And it's almost like give us like a little hype speech for people to find a partner.
I mean, Fiona's like my safety blanket. I don't think you'd catch me out in the ocean swimming by myself. I was the one who, like, when swim team went from 50 meters and from 25 to 50 and you had to flip turn, I was like, I'm out. So I've come a long way. I can flip turn now. But
Nice.
like being tethered and knowing we're in it together is just like this sense of like, yeah, what could go wrong? Like there's two of us. So I think having a partner is just so awesome to be in it together.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I feel like Amanda has been such an amazing partner, and just knowing that you have someone who has your back, like we would both, prioritize the experience first and one another and like our families. So we have some of those same core values, and anything extra is just like icing on the cake. But knowing that I think we're both, and like Amanda's so reliable. So whether it's showing up to training at 5 a.m. or when you were out on the course, knowing like, okay, here's our fueling strategy, or we both like to, scope out the course in advance, things like that. So we're also have the same, that Amanda's interested to like pour over the maps and figure out making sure we're not swimming too much and we stay on course. And I think when they talked about at one of the races, like heads up racing, we're like, oh, I can definitely rely on Amanda, and we can be each other's like checkpoint. Like here, we're on track, and someone who's calm, cool, collected. It's a great partnership.
And that's a great way I love how you have the same values. Sounds like you have the same goals, having fun, being out there as long as you can and put the good effort out there. And
Like
someone
if
that'll
another
grab
team's
that rock.
coming, you'll see us speed up. But otherwise, there's like striking the right balance.
course.
Enough time to eat all the snacks, but also we'll look over our shoulder and we're like, all right, we should try a little harder.
From a tactic perspective, it is good. Heads up racing is so important. And we've been out there racing. We see people that take a wrong turn off and we're shouting at them, get back on track. But having that partner in the front or the back, kind of like double checking the flags while someone's figuring out what the next run distance is going to be. There is a way to kind of split some of the load of leading the runs or leading the swims between the partners that can really be helpful to both partners. Overall, you all sound, even with only a few swim runs under your belt, you all are operating at pretty high level. Pretty high level.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so we have, how was ÖTILLÖ the World Championship kind of on your radar early on in your partnership? Like, oh, this is something that we want to tackle, or kind of just came to you with getting the points and getting the elite program, Wild Swim, and it all just kind of came together?
I think it started, Whistler, we were like, well, we want to keep going. And so we were like, what's longer? And I think
Really looked into longer courses.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, with the getting the points, that was the selling point to our husbands. Like, well, we need to go to Colorado to make sure we have these points.
We don't know if we'll have enough
Love
points if we don't go to Colorado. Or like, yeah. But I think certainly it was something I remember the idea of like the point to point swimming like down the archipelago. I feel like it just has that like bit of magic or the allure to it. We both really love the ocean and feel comfortable in open water, so it just seems, and like to travel, so we're like, what a amazing way to combine so many of these things that we both love. And so I feel like pretty early on we're like, hey, there's this thing, like we don't know how long it might take to be able to go, but yeah, as you guys have said, like if the opportunity strikes, like no better time than now, because you don't know what
Exactly.
in the next year or after that.
Yeah, and you never really know. I mean, there's an episode we recently aired with the Swimrun Labs. It was kind of a throwback to 2020, and this was a team that in 2020 really highly ranked. They would have done great in ÖTILLÖ, and then with COVID shutting down that race for that year, they kind of missed their window, and then they had children, and things happened, and it just never really worked out, aligned for them to be able to go there, and it's such a shame. Which is why the advice that we got, Chipper, first year of the show, something like that, which is like, go to ÖTILLÖ before you think you're ready. Like whatever your first opportunity is, just take it, because you never really know, and you're never really going to be super ready for it.
You're never,
like,
you're never going
it's
to be
such a
100%
big,
ready.
it's such a big lift. And even if you've done a seasoned adventure racer, or seasoned Ironman triathlete, seasoned ultra runner, like doesn't matter what kind of seasoning you're bringing to this, it's going to be different. It's going to be unique, and it's And so I'm stoked that you guys are going to be there, and it's going to be the 20th edition, so that's going to be like extra fun for you guys to experience that.
Exactly. Yeah, we're really excited about that. And even when you're saying about being ready for it, the other thing about these sport, any kind of endurance sport, is the weather has such a big impact on the experience. So even from what I understand, this last year was like a very calm year with like kind of like good weather, but also having some of those like other elements, it's like, oh, that's also fun. And it's like another element of excitement when there's rain or different like conditions that come up with racing. So even if you think it's going to be a kind of your year to do X, Y, or Z, like anything's in life, right? The weather, and there's always other factors that play into things too.
Yeah, for sure. And I think for ÖTILLÖ, for ÖTILLÖ in particular, that's one where it's like, just whatever it gives you, just be grateful for it, because it could change. It's like, can't control it. You just have to kind of like acquiesce to whatever's come throwing at you, because it's a long enough day. I mean, this past year, the day before the race, we happened to be there doing like media stuff, and it was like super foggy, and they were really worried that the race wasn't even going to happen. And there was all these contingency plans, and it turned out to be this really weird day, super calm. The year before, it was like raining in the morning, and then the sun came out, and then it was like the weather really changed and it got really hot. It was just, you never, I mean, it's a long enough race where just a lot of different things can be happening. And like the people who probably, I'm guessing the people who navigate that well are the ones who can just kind of roll with whatever presents you.
Exactly. Whatever the weather.
In Vermont, they say if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. Changes.
Vermont seems like a great training ground to prepare for. I mean, just with the trails and the hills, and it sounds like you got some amazing
Yeah.
Great Lakes
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Exactly.
How often are you kind of syncing up and training, getting those training sessions in person? I mean, if you can do that and train together with your partner, it's certainly an advantage, but not a luxury that a lot of teams have. Is that something you're still able to make happen with all the busy schedules and
Yeah.
juggling all the kids and everything?
I feel like at least once a week we try. I feel like during the winter months, like maybe it's not every week. We'll try at least once to meet up. Certainly when we transition to like open water and the outside, like when we do open water swims or as we've done like swim run sessions, those we almost always try to do those. Like, so we'll at
find
least,
time.
yeah,
Nice.
exactly. Prioritize it on the weekend to get out for a few hours together and do the swim run. So that and the pool we swim at in the summer is outside and there's no lifeguards or anything. So if you're swimming at 5 a.m., it's nice to have a buddy there just for safety because otherwise it's dark out and it's like a dark pool because it's kind of one of those things where you can swim, but there's not staff. So we'll try to at least sync up, especially in the summer when we're doing that.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. And certainly something that Chip, again, if it's possible, certainly doing your key sessions together are such great ways to really like level up your, not just your swimrun skills, but also your communication as partners, kind of how you're going to deal with different things, working on your transitions together, your communication styles I mentioned. Are you guys pretty intentional about that when you do your swim practices? Like, okay, we're going to work on transitions. We're going to try to do this or what have you?
We did a lot of that last summer.
Yeah.
Of like, we're just going to go in and out with this tether and figure out how long it needs to be and where we can tuck it in. And
Exactly.
That's so good.
Try it out. Because even like when we swim, I think even you guys have mentioned like one of you wears earplugs, one doesn't. So I was like, for a while I had the tether and the earplugs. And the man is like, you're messing with your earplugs. I'll take the tether. And you just figure out these little nuances or I'll be like, Amanda, I'm having a gel. We're going to gel now. And kind of reminding each other to fuel. And I think even how you guys have talked through, trying it out, like which order do you want to do your gear in and when you want to take things on or off. And also as we've moved into trying to get more people into the sport, that worked out well last summer. If we did some swim run sessions, we would invite other people to come and join us. And maybe we want to work on some snappy transitions, but some people might be brand new to swim running in a certain area. So we'll meet and we'll say, okay, Amanda and I might run out and back of the water twice and say do 2 transitions while some people might be doing 1 transition together, but then we can kind of run over to the next point or it's swimming around a point. And that way, if people want to show up and do no transitions, that's fine. If people want to come and do 1, but then for us, we're like, okay, we're going to try to bang out a few and practice it if it's leading up to a race. And then we can, still get to hang out and do a casual, trail run in between, chit chat, etc.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there's so many fiddly bits and sort of things to go, hey, does this up and down, in and out kind of stuff? And getting those transitions in that practice, especially as a team, is really helpful. And that's why, we always recommend there's usually some sort of clinic swim run shakeout the day before the race. That these are great. A lot of people, it is their first swim run and you can save yourself a lot of time in that learning curve. You can kind of get some of those things checked off a day or 2 before. It really helps the race day come along a little bit easier for you behind it and bringing more folks in from the community. You're running your own little swimrun camp in Vermont.
Yeah.
Love it.
I know we do have a dream. That would be amazing if we could, if we had a few other less things on our plate to more formally organize. It's just I don't know that we quite have enough bandwidth to formally organize something, but kind of more informally try to do
a couple of years
something. Right? Yeah, exactly. To do something.
Well, it's awesome that people
that would be incredible.
Come up.
Yeah, we can plant the seed now. If anyone's interested in a future Vermont swim run camp, they can hit us up. Yeah,
This is pretty obvious, so we'd be
You'd be welcome. I mean, that's the thing. We're recording in my basement right now. We have room for people to stay.
It's noted. So you guys are you're doing the world champs later this year. How are you thinking about your training and sort of balancing? Obviously, you got young kids at home. How are you thinking that you're gonna kind of do your build for this race?
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's been so helpful. This last year, I've been working with Coach Liz, which has been one of the initial reasons, even for thinking, because I hadn't necessarily thought of using a coach before, but one of the initial things when I'd reached out is saying, like, hey, I only have so much time. How can I be as efficient as I can be? And not be having like junk miles or waste, like any training's good training. It was like fun and a part of our routine, but also how to be efficient and making the best use of your time. So that's been, I feel like, absolutely instrumental. And I think for us, we both typically will work out like early in the morning and on as we kind of do a build or leading up before races, as we mentioned before, with swim run sessions, like really prioritizing that time together and be like, okay, regardless of everything else, maybe we're going to meet at, gets light, like the days are so long here in the summer, they're like the sun barely goes down. So we can meet at 5 a.m. and swim run for a few hours and kind of come back and still be there for the whole day. So it's another piece I think you guys had mentioned, even with fueling. I feel like previously I didn't fuel so much during training sessions, but making that a priority so that way you're not starving afterwards and you can go right into, all day kid mode on the weekend, right? And go out for however many different activities and family hike and everything the rest of the day.
Yeah, I remember pretty recently, like Chipper and I did some big training day or something, and he's like, "Oh, I managed to take like a 2 hour nap," and I'm like, "I hate you." I pulled that off. It's like, how in the heck did you fall asleep? The kids
like
are
a
watching TV. I
hibernation.
just
Yeah.
You're like having a caffeine gel at the end of a workout. You're like, no, this is to get through the next part 2 of the day, the next actual training block of the day. Right.
Right, exactly.
I think that too,
Exactly.
like having kids who are active and energetic, like that's the second part of training when you've already got your hours in and then you're like still on your feet running around.
Time on
swimming,
feet.
biking. But right now all of my strength workouts are with my kids and they're on me or under me and sometimes they're my weights. Like it's when you realistically want to fit in the workouts, you have to involve them. Our gym also has an indoor track that's like 200 meters around and in the corners you can like do weights, and so my husband and I will take turns running loops and then like lifting with the kids in the corner and then running laps with the kids, so just squeezing
Family
it
affair.
in the moments.
Love it. That's awesome. And yeah, I mean, certainly Chris and I both, it's such a good modeling for your kids as well, just to be active. And it's like, hey, in our school, no one else's dad's waking up at 5 to go like running in pitch black besides our two kids, so it's cool to involve them in there. And then it's really exciting that ÖTILLÖ has been starting to introduce some of these kids swim runs, that especially at Austin, there was, I think, 6 or so kids under 18 years old doing races either with parents or with someone else. So it is kind of the next generation of swim runners, and swim run just makes more sense to kids. They're like, oh yeah, why wouldn't you just go right in and go swimming?
Our kids love the tether. Are you kidding me? The tether, I'm like, all right, we need to make sure the tether's safe, because they run around the beach with the tether when we have our stuff. And actually, Amanda and her husband had hosted a kids triathlon this past summer. The water was shallow enough that some kids actually swam. Some kids swam with floaties, and if kids needed to, they could stand up and run through the water and pretend they're swimming. There's kids who did the bike on their bike or on a scooter. So really, my son learned to ride his bike with no training wheels that day. Was on a Strider bike before, and so literally had a bike with no training wheels or anything, and his scooter at the transition, and made like a game day decision, like saw other kids riding bike, and he's like, I'm gonna ride the bike today, Mom. I was like, all right, let's do it.
You're like, nothing on race day.
Yeah.
Including riding a bike,
Yeah, literally. I think what they're doing is amazing.
That's
and
awesome.
To see more swim runs for kids, we would definitely, if there was something close by and a short enough distance, our kids would do that.
Yeah, and you're certainly seeing that in Europe, like France. I think it's leading the way. France and Portugal, like all of their events usually, if not almost always, have a kids race. to just kind of bring up the next generation. Parents are bringing their kids for travel for these things, give them something to do. So yeah, I mean, we'd love to see more of that in the US. I think the problem here is like we're so litigious and permits and insurance and all that stuff. It just makes it a little bit more annoying to kind of deal with. Case in point, so Swim Run Cape Cod, which is a race that we've been supporting heavily because hey, it's a local swim run at a cool spot, and it took 3 years to get one off the ground with the weather and stuff. But when they were setting up the race, they reached out to us with a bunch of questions because I guess the permitting agencies are like, oh, we can't have people use the tether because everyone's gonna like choke themselves in the water. And it was like, actually, it's the opposite. It's like, oh, everyone's gonna drown. It's like no one's ever drowned in a swim run because you got this big old pull buoy between your legs. So everyone has to have like a flotational device. Actually, everything's fine. So there's so much of a learning curve that has to happen. And it's like the earlier you can get the kids involved and get everyone on the same page, I think that'll help grow the sport. Obviously, in our corner of the internet, we don't have that much influence, but certainly would love to see more kids races in the US. I mean, my kids already want to do swim runs with me when they're older. They're 6 and 9, and we already have team names already kind of worked up, workshop, the logos and everything for each child. So, merch. Merch.
Oh, of course. Got any merch already? Of course.
I love it. That's the important things, right? Is like to make it fun, right? To have like this niche thing as kids, they have their school and more standard sports. Having them have this experience and identity and interests outside of it is just like such amazing for them overall.
For sure. Yeah, and our kids really get into it. Like they love the Löw Tide Böyz stuff. They're wearing it all the time. I've had random parents come up to us as like, oh yeah, your kid was wearing this shirt. I, went to your website and learned about swim run. I'm like, all right, Javi, nice work.
Got one more. Got one more. Yeah. Did you subscribe
amazing.
And thumbs up on YouTube? That's
I think I forgot to ask.
You need to put a QR code on their back.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Just scan here. Yeah. So my son, they were like doing his heart health month, right, for February. And he's like, Mom, you just scan the QR code. He's like, just going around. I was like, you don't have a phone. I'm already getting told to scan QR codes.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and there's a lot of scams with QR codes now. You got to be careful. You can't just be scamming QR codes on a pole because they can use it to install like malware on your phone and stuff. So,
okay. Well, good
Or
PSA,
take your triathlon
everyone.
website.
Yeah.
But if it's on
yeah, just take your triathlon website. The horror. Oh, the horror.
Yeah.
Let me grab my pearls real quick.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Awesome.
So, yeah, go ahead, Chipper.
Oh, I was going to talk about maple syrup.
That's a worthy topic.
Yeah.
I spent my formative years in Boston and Somerville, and I'm a big believer that Vermont maple syrup is the only maple syrup.
Yes.
Do you guys co-sign?
100%.
100%.
Yeah. There was some out of state maple syrup that made its way into our house, and my son, he could detect it. He's like, I don't like this maple syrup. And I was like, what? And then we looked at the label and we're like, yeah, this is like some other, I don't know. We won't go into details. We won't name names. We won't bring things up. But there was this other syrup.
Countries, but
yeah, we won't say. So we had this joke. We're like, this was like the maple syrup that went as only if we ever ran low would anyone in our house actually have backup desperate maple syrup. But,
syrup.
And
last resort maple syrup.
So much a part of the culture here. We're at a friend's house this morning, and it's like so many people have sugar shacks like in their yard, right? And
in our backyard,
yeah, literally,
a big tank that's in the works of becoming for sugaring.
That's awesome.
What's the sugar shack?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a building that you put together to collect the maple syrup. So you go to all these trees and you tap them, and there's these lines that basically feed into the sugar shack. And you gotta anyway. Go on YouTube.
I got some YouTube to watch tonight.
I mean, if you guys are ever right here in this area during sugar season, you still need like warmer days and cold nights. And then that kind of thawing is actually what helps like the sap, right, start flowing out of the trees. And so many maple syrup farms locally, they open up their doors, like even different homes. And it's a lot of them have hoses that run, but a lot of them will do for kind of kids and extension programs and things like that, or just teaching people about it. We'll go and the kids can go and run and collect the sap buckets and you can pour it in. So I say definitely for people to put it on their list to come to Vermont during sugar season, which is also mud season or just before mud season, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Noted.
So I've tried to tell everyone in my family, my extended family, they know Vermont maple syrup's the only maple syrup. And Chipper, I've been working on Chipper to be like,
I
wait,
know. Well, now I know. Now I
now
know.
you know.
I'll make sure we're right as rain. I'll check
Yes,
right after
yeah.
this. Everything
Thank
else right in
you.
the
Thank
trash.
you. Yeah, do it. Yeah, absolutely. Pour it down the drain. And next time we see you guys, you have to know what races you're going to be at. We can smuggle some syrup.
I'll pay you.
Sounds
I'll
good.
Venmo you for sure for that.
Yeah.
That sounds nice. I don't think they have maple syrup in Sweden. We'll have to bring your own syrup over there.
Yeah.
I have to. Yeah.
might.
Yeah.
Well, there's two maple syrup fueling brands, Untapped, and then another that shall not be named. But the Untapped one is actually Vermont maple syrup, so you can get the little packets and bring them on the race. And that's been a key thing for me. Usually before a race, you take a gel. Like our strategy is take a gel 15 minutes before. If it's like something where like a trail run or something like that, 15 minutes before I don't take a gel, I take a little Untapped maple syrup. It's delicious.
Yeah.
Just primes you right up for performance. It's
Such
great.
a good way to start your day.
Yeah.
Seriously, maple
I've
syrup's
actually
great.
used one of those Untapped because I was out of syrup and I needed it for my waffles. So a little bit of the reverse, but it still works that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A speak of emergency.
I'm
Crisis.
like, we're down. Nothing
Yeah.
from Canada. There was nothing in here. I had to go
Yeah.
to the gel. I had to go to my
Yeah,
fueling stuff.
I mean,
Nice.
That is too funny.
Christ.
So, final question for you guys. You guys are partners. You're taking on big things. If there were some swim runners that are watching this right now or listening to this on wherever they listen to podcasts, and you had to give them like one piece of advice, or either their first swim run or maybe their 10th, like what would be your advice to swim runners?
Good question.
The first thing that pops into my head is find a good partner who you want to hang out with. I think that just makes it so much more fun. And I also have to say that I really love my carbon paddles that you guys
Oh yeah. How did we not mention
created.
that?
I think swimming is just so much more fun with those paddles. And like, if I had it my way, all of my swim workouts would be done with paddles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Carbon paddles.
I've tried on Coach Liz. I'm like, hey, I need more paddle work. She's like, you need to learn how to swim there, Buster.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, I completely agree with what Amanda said. And to add to that, I would say if people, wherever they live, there are master's swim programs, so many places. And I think, both of us swam as kids when we were young and then returned to swimming postpartum. So I think just to have that confidence in the water, you can look up your local master's swim program, so many different places, not just in our country, but in the world, right? There's so many organizations. And just to have that consistency, whether it's 2 times a week, 3 times a week, to just show up to the pool. My first swim run, before we were a partnership and I did only one solo, felt confident doing a swim run with only showing up to masters swim workouts. I think that just takes a lot of pressure off.
I love it. Yeah,
Great tip.
we mention that all the time on the show, right? It's already hard enough. These races are difficult and challenging. You got to deal with currents and who knows what else. Showing up as a strong swimmer or as strong as you can is the best way to not turn this thing into an ordeal. You could obviously walk during the runs and things like that,
Yeah.
but if you can just show up with a decent amount of swim fitness, just kind of unlocks your ability to have a lot of fun rather than having to be every swim. You got to psych yourself up to do it.
Yeah,
We've
can
also
just
been experience.
Yeah.
exactly.
We've learned the hard way.
Yeah.
I think to add one more thing, if you do some cold plunges, it makes your swim
Yeah.
feel a lot easier when
Definitely.
it's been a lot of fun to jump in some really cold
good.
water, and then you don't have to deal with the shock on race day that you can tolerate.
I think
cold
that's
water.
fair. Because definitely
a good
springtime
call.
last year, I feel like, the lakes, right, a lot around here, most of them freeze over. So definitely our early swim run sessions, you just have a wicked brain freeze from it. And yeah, so definitely that cold water exposure is great.
Yeah, and I'm sure that came in handy at Whistler because oh my
Ooh, yeah, there's some chilly ones. Nita?
it was cold.
Yeah, yeah.
Nita,
Yeah,
and what's
Nita.
the other one? Green and Nita.
Yeah, well, we didn't swim long course people didn't swim in Green Lake this year. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
think. But yeah, Nito, and you got to swim in that one twice. Oof,
Ooh,
chilly,
that was
super chilly.
brisk.
Yeah. Well,
Cool.
Amanda, Fiona, thank you guys so much for coming on the show. We're stoked to hang out with you at swim runs. We'll see you at Casco for sure, and then Sweden for sure.
Sweden.
That's going to be super fun.
Yeah.
Best of luck this year with your training and family rearing and all that stuff. And appreciate you guys taking the time to come on the show.
Thank you so much for having us. This has been a lot of fun. So appreciate it.
That's it for this week's episode. Thanks so much for listening to the show. Make sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and leave a rating or review, since that's the best way to help other people discover the show and the sport of swim run.
Check out our website, lowtideboys.com. That's boys with a Z, for swim run resources, including gear guides, tips, how-to videos, and so much more. Make sure to check out our meme page at The Löw Tide Böyz on Instagram. If you have any questions or suggestions for the show, send us a DM or email us at lowtideboys@gmail.com.
We'd like to thank Riding Easy Records for our show music, and of course our wives for their support and tolerance of our swim run and other activities.
Lots of activities.
Lots of activities.
Finally, you can support our efforts on Patreon. Until next time, get out there and go for a swim.
Then a run.
And then a swim.
Then another run.
Then another swim.
Then run some more.
Just keep going.
Let's go.
And then stop at some point because,
And fuel. Don't forget to fuel.
Gotta fuel
Of
too.
course, yes.